So, you want to do some more homework? I like it. Welcome to Side Quest B, the Defenders Saga. Now, just like the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. saga, these shows run parallel to the events of the Infinity Saga. However, unlike Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., these shows do not make a lot of connections to the films themselves. In this side quest, you will be required to complete 3 seasons of Daredevil and Jessica Jones, 2 seasons of Luke Cage, Iron Fist and the Punisher, and 1 season of The Defenders. Now, these shows are extremely dark and extremely violent, so if you do not have the stomach to see a dude's head get smashed in by a car door, then maybe complete this side quest with one eye open while holding your best friend's hand. I cannot stress enough how important these shows are, as many of the characters from these series will pop up again in future films and TV shows. Now, before we begin, may I remind you that this video will contain spoilers, and it will take approximately 140 hours and 47 minutes to complete this side quest. Now, strap in, get some popcorn, and let's get started. First, we're going to watch Daredevil Season 1, where we're introduced to a character by the name of Matt Murdock, a blind lawyer from Hell's Kitchen. Joining him we have Foggy Nelson, Karen Page, Claire Temple, and Wilson Fisk, also known as the Kingpin. Now, this show takes place several years after the first Avengers film, calling the Battle of New York The Incident. There is also a neat little Easter egg seen in Fogwell's gym, a poster of a fight between Jack Murdock and Carl Crusher Quill, also known as the Absorbing Man, whom we met in Season 2 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Next, we're going to watch Jessica Jones Season 1, a private investigator with superhuman strength. Introduced for the first time, we have Luke Cage, Trish Walker, Jerry Hogarth, and Zebediah Kilgrave, also known in the comic books as the Purple Man. We also see the return of Claire Temple from the first season of Daredevil. Following Jessica Jones, we're going to watch Daredevil Season 2, where we see the emergence of an organization known as The Hand. Introduced for the first time is the Punisher and Elektra, and Jessica Jones gets name dropped in episode 5. We also see the return of Claire Temple as she mentions to Foggy about her interactions with Luke Cage, and also returning are the Dogs of Hell biker gang whom we last saw back in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Next, we're going to watch Luke Cage Season 1, and here we're introduced to new characters such as Misty Knight, Cottonmouth, and Diamondback. Claire Temple continues to make her presence known as she returns in episode 5, mentioning the events of The Hand in Hell's Kitchen. Episode 6, we hear Trish Talk, a radio show hosted by Jessica Jones' best friend, Trish Walker. Now, the MCU films play a big part in the storytelling of this season, as metal from the Chitauri attack has been made into weapons by Hammer Industries. Now, if you remember, Justin Hammer was introduced back in Iron Man 2 and later seen again in All Hail the King one-shot. By the end of this season, we see Claire Temple rip off a calling card for martial arts training by Colleen Wing, whom we will see next in Iron Fist Season 1. Next, we're going to watch Iron Fist Season 1, as we see Danny Rand return to New York after his supposed death 15 years earlier. Jerry Hogarth and Claire Temple return, and we're introduced to new characters such as Colleen Wing, Joy and Ward Meacham, and Bakudo. By the end of this season, we see Danny and Colleen travel to Kunlun only to find the ancient city destroyed. After the events of Iron Fist Season 1, we are going to watch The Defenders. Now, this is like the Avengers of this side quest, as Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist team up to fight the ever-growing presence and threat of The Hand. Many supporting characters from the previous shows return, such as Jerry Hogarth, Elektra, Foggy Nelson, and of course, Claire Temple. By the end of this season, Matt Murdock is presumed dead, and Iron Fist is now tasked to defend the city in his absence. Next, we're going to watch The Punisher Season 1. This show takes place several months after the Defenders show, as we can see a newspaper article titled Chaos Under the Streets at the New York Bulletin. Karen Page makes her return, and we're introduced to new characters such as Micro and Billy Russo, also known as Jigsaw. Next, we're going to watch Jessica Jones Season 2, as we continue to delve deeper into Jessica's origin and traumatic past. we see the return of Jerry Hogarth, and Trish Walker has developed an obsession with gaining powers. Now in the comic books, Trish Walker becomes the hero known as Hellcat. Next, we're going to watch Luke Cage Season 2. Here we see the return of Misty Knight, now missing an arm after the events of the Defenders. We have cameos from Foggy Nelson, Danny Rand and Colleen Wing, and introduced for the first time Bushmaster and Nightshade. Following Luke Cage, we are going to watch Iron Fist Season 2. Returning, we have Colleen Wing, Misty Knight, Davos, Joy and Ward Meacham, and introduced for the first time Mary Walker, also known as Typhoid Mary. This season concludes Danny Rand's journey in the Defenders Saga, just as Season 2 did with Luke Cage. Next, we're going to watch Daredevil Season 3 as we go on a journey of seeing Matt Murdock recover after the events of the Defenders. Foggy Nelson and Karen Page reprise their respective roles from when we last saw Foggy in Season 2 of Luke Cage and Karen in Season 1 of The Punisher. We are also introduced to a new character, Benjamin Poindexter, also known as Bullseye. After Daredevil, we're going to watch The Punisher Season 2 as we see the return of Dinah Madani, Karen Page and Billy Russo. We are also introduced to a character by the name of John Pilgrim. Concluding the Defenders Saga, we are going to watch Jessica Jones Season 3. Here we see the fallout between Jessica Jones and her best friend Trish Walker. We're introduced to characters such as Fool Killer and Mindwave, and we can assume that this show ends right before Thanos snaps his fingers in Avengers Infinity War. Congratulations, you've just completed your second side quest, and I hope you're recovering well. From here, you may go on to side quest C, the Teenage Angst Saga, with 2 seasons of Cloak and Dagger and 3 seasons of Runaways. If you don't have the time for teenage drama, then you may go ahead to our main quest with part 1 of the Multiverse Saga. Whichever direction you choose, I'll see you in the next video. If you enjoyed this content and found it super helpful, may I kindly invite you to hit the like and subscribe button down below, and hit the notification bell to stay up to date with this MCU timeline. And maybe let me know down in the comment section below your favorite scene from the Defenders Saga.